So why do black people, whether it's in Africa or in North America, just Africans, black people in the diaspora, why don't we go to therapy? And why don't black men specifically go to therapy?
Disclaimer alert! Disclaimer alert! Please pause the video and read the disclaimer.
In this video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons that, from experience, from a little bit of what people have researched, and from what I have heard people say to me. So reason number 1 is social stigma. Social stigma in a sense that socially, therapy is not something that has a positive weight around it. One, because of religion. Most people, or Africans, are very religious people. And for many people, they see going to therapy as of it's a betrayal to God, as if you don't have faith that God will carry you through. And unfortunately, even some priests will kind of perpetuate that kind of stereotype, right? And also, I think there's this thing that black people, black women, we're strong. Black men, they're strong. They don't have to go to therapy. We can handle it. And that is also a stereotype, because black people are human beings as well. And we have struggles, we have anxieties, mental health issues, mental illnesses, and things like that. So there's a bit of a taboo that goes with you can't, because you're weak if you go to therapy. And the similar in the taboo in Africa, those people who believe and practice African spirituality, when somebody is struggling mentally, has whether it's schizophrenia or bipolar or borderline personality disorder, sometimes those things are credited to witchcraft. Oh my goodness, they're being bewitched, that's why they're going crazy. It's not because they have a chemical imbalance, or they are mental, or they have OCD, or even autism. When a kid has autism, it's so and so bewitched the mother when the mother is pregnant and stuff like that, right? So socially, those are some of the things. But I'll tell you, I've seen sangomas, which is traditional doctors, who are honest, who do say, hey, we need to go to therapy. Hey, our people need therapy. I've also seen priests and preachers and bishops who says, go to therapy, you need therapy. So honest people, leaders in the community, encourage our people to go to therapy. But that is one of the biggest reason I feel is the reason why black people, black men especially, don't go to therapy, is because of the social stigma that is attached with it. And I just want to say, going to therapy is not a betrayal to God. When you go and work on yourself so that you can become a better human being, how can that be a betrayal to God, right? Number 2, why black people, specifically black men, black women, in the diaspora, in Africa, in North America, everywhere, don't seem to go to therapy is because of diversity. Now, in North America where I live, 80 to 90%, I would say 90% of therapists are white and female. And research shows that out of everybody who's a therapist, only 4% of the people who are therapists are black. And out of that 4%, very, 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 very small amount are black men. All right, so diversity, representation is very important, right? Because when you go to speak to somebody, you want somebody who will understand your culture, who will understand things like black tags. You know, in many ways, I had somebody says, you know, my therapist thought my mother is crazy because she gives me the eye, and or she, you know, she told me she'll take me out, and this woman says it's abusive or whatever. So things that are like cultural to us as black people. And I don't care where in Africa you are from, if you have a black mother, they have this, I'll get you, I'll take you out, right? It doesn't mean really that they're going to take you out. It's just the way of them saying knock it off, right? And it's funny, social media has made it clear to me whether, you know, because some of the things that my mother does, I see people posting their mothers, or my mother did. I see people in Nigeria posting their mothers doing the same thing. I see people in Colorado who are black and their mothers are doing the same thing. So, and I'm like, it's in the DNA, right? So representation, when you don't have somebody that can understand your culture, understand our ways of doing things, it's difficult because you have to first say, I'm struggling with this, you know, like example, as I said, black tax. All right, I want to pay it because we all pay it and we understand that's how we help each other as Africans, but I want to set boundaries. And then you have a therapist who's white who says, don't pay it at all, right? But if you have a black therapist, will say, okay, you know, you help your brother go to school, but how about you set this and this boundary, or you set these expectations, go talk to them, right? It's a cultural thing. Another thing that I heard a client complain about is that my therapist said that I should stop talking to my parents forever, right? It's might have been the healthy thing to do, but it's not something that Africans do often. We don't just discard our family and parents like that and not talk to them forever because they were horrible people. Sometimes some people deserved to be cut off for eternity because some of the things they do are horrible, but it's not in the African culture and nature to do such a thing. So when you have a therapist that you have to first explain such things to, it becomes a little bit problematic, right? So diversity, I've heard, you know, people say they've had to wait 3 or 4 months to get on a list of a black therapist because there's so few of them. Their numbers are just not matching up in comparison to people who want therapy. So we need more diversity. So if you're thinking about becoming a therapist and you're black, go do it. We need you. Number 3 is the cost. Like where I live right now, at a lower end, therapy costs about $120 an hour. And that's like cheaper end, right? At a higher end is like $250 an hour, right? So a lot of people who might need therapy might not get therapy because of the cost, right? Yes, the government does offer free therapists, but the waiting list is like 9 months, right? But I don't want you to get discouraged. If that's all you can do, get on the waiting list now, because whatever you're struggling with, you'll probably be still struggling with it 9 months from now. So do get on the list if that's all you can afford. But cost is one of the reasons why black people don't want to go get therapy, because they think I can't afford it, or I could use the money for this and this and that extra that I need in my life or for my family. And there are other jobs, like my job offers therapy. More and more companies offer private therapy. So that's, if your job is offering it, just use it, right? And also costs, the thing about costs or waiting on the government waiting list brings back that second choice of diversity, right? If you don't have the money, then you don't have the choice of seeking the therapist that you think or feel that you can connect with based on either race or sexuality or gender or things like that, right? So I think those are some of the things, the top 3 issues why black people, specifically black men, don't go to therapy. But let's talk about it. If you're a black man and you're like, don't talk for us, let me know what are some of the reasons you have not gone to therapy. Leave a comment below. And I don't want to end this video on a negative note. I just want to say, even though there are low numbers of Africans going to therapy, their numbers are getting higher and higher by the year. It's getting better and better. So let's be mentally healthy. Please share the video. Thank you for watching. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Deuces.